The war is over. The dragons are gone. The throne melted. Meaningless. And yet here we are, still searching for something that feels that big, that brutal, that human. Game of Thrones wasn't just television, it was a fever dream. A decade of betrayal, prophecy, and beautifully broken people. And now that it's gone, your heart aches for another kingdom to kneel to. But in the ashes of Westeros, 10 worlds rise. Each one filled with its own gods, monsters, and impossible choices. Let's begin. Before Daenerys, before the fall, there was the rise, and the fire that forged it all. House of the Dragon takes us 2 centuries back, into the heart of House Targaryen's rule. It's a story of legacy and lust for control, of bloodlines sharpened into weapons, and of families so powerful they burned themselves alive to stay on top. Here, dragons are more than beasts, they're political statements. Every conversation feels like a test, every alliance a death sentence waiting for its cue. It's Shakespeare with wings, power with scales, and a tragedy written in ash. House of the Dragon gives you what you missed most: the grandeur, the betrayal, and that slow, suffocating feeling that no one ever really wins the throne. 2 seasons are streaming on Max, and the fire only grows hotter. In a land ruled by monsters and men, sometimes it's hard to tell which is worse. The Witcher follows Geralt of Rivia, a mutant monster hunter whose moral compass is as flawed as the world he tries to save. There's no clean good or evil here, only survival, destiny, and the haunting truth that power always demands a price. While Game of Thrones builds kingdoms, The Witcher builds myths. Every episode weaves prophecy and blood, love and betrayal, into a story that feels both ancient and painfully human. Geralt's silence speaks louder than politics. His battles are internal as much as they are physical. It's darker, colder, but beautifully alive. And just when you think you understand the world, another secret pulls you under. 3 seasons are streaming on Netflix, with a 4th on the horizon, perfect for your next descent into destiny. Game of Thrones taught us that history repeats itself. The Last Kingdom reminds us how it began. Set in the 9th century, this series follows Uhtred of Bebbanburg, a warrior torn between 2 worlds, born Saxon, raised Viking, loyal to neither. It's a story of identity and inheritance, of battles fought not just with swords, but with conscience. The strength of The Last Kingdom lies in its realism. There's no magic here, only grit, honor, and the human cost of ambition. Every kingdom feels earned, every betrayal personal. And like Thrones, it understands that war is never just about who wins, but what's lost in the process. 5 seasons and a follow-up film, 7 Kings Must Die, are streaming on Netflix, a complete saga that proves you don't need dragons to build a legend. History doesn't end, it evolves. Vikings. Valhalla begins a century after Ragnar Lothbrok's legend, when the world is changing faster than the warriors who built it. Christianity rises, old gods fade, and a new generation must decide whether to conquer or adapt. We follow Leif Erikson, Freydis Eriksdotter, and Harald Sigurdsson, 3 names destined to carve their own myths into history. Their journeys are raw and human, set against a backdrop of faith, revenge, and survival. The politics are as brutal as the battles, and loyalty cuts as deep as any sword. What makes Valhalla a worthy heir to Game of Thrones is its scale and moral complexity. Every victory costs something. Every hero is one decision away from damnation. 2 seasons are streaming on Netflix, with a 3rd and final season bringing this Norse epic to its fate. Long before the Fellowship, before the One Ring, there was the Age of Beginnings, when gods walked among men, and evil had not yet learned its name. The Rings of Power is both prequel and prophecy, an origin story that breathes new life into Tolkien's world while exploring the weight of creation, corruption, and legacy. Visually, it's breathtaking. Every frame a painting, every moment echoing destiny. But beneath the beauty lies ambition and deceit. As alliances form and kingdoms rise, darkness stirs, patient and inevitable. Like Thrones, this series asks one timeless question: how far will we go to build a world worth ruling? It's less about who wins and more about who endures, who still believes in light when the night is endless. 2 seasons are streaming on Prime Video, and it's only getting grander. Prophecy, reincarnation, Power that can destroy the world or save it. In the Wheel of Time, destiny doesn't choose lightly. Moiraine, a mysterious Aes Sedai, searches for the one person who might be the Dragon Reborn, a being prophesied to either unite or doom humanity. It's a story about fate disguised as freedom, about ordinary people thrust into extraordinary roles. Each character struggles not only against darkness, but against the idea that their lives are not their own. Much like Game of Thrones, the show thrives in its web of motives, faith, and fear, where no choice comes without consequence. With sweeping landscapes, deep lore, and a powerful female-led cast, The Wheel of Time spins a world you won't want to leave. 2 seasons are streaming on Prime Video, with more yet to turn. No dragons, no swords. But make no mistake, this is war. Succession trades castles for boardrooms, thrones for corporate empires, and bloodlines for billion-dollar stakes. It's the story of the Roy family, a dynasty of ruthless media moguls, fighting not for survival, but for control. What makes it a spiritual sibling to Game of Thrones isn't fantasy, it's the psychology of power. Every smirk, every silence, every move feels like a dagger behind the back. Logan Roy rules through fear, his children through ambition, and all of them through denial. It's a portrait of privilege devouring itself. Sharp, tragic, and brutally funny, Succession proves that you don't need dragons when the monsters wear suits. 4 seasons are streaming on Max, and it's one of the most finely written dissections of power in modern television. In the far future, empires rise and fall, not by sword, but by science. Based on Isaac Asimov's groundbreaking novels, Foundation follows a group of rebels who foresee the inevitable collapse of a galactic empire. Their mission, preserve the knowledge of humanity and rebuild civilization from the ashes. It's Game of Thrones set among the stars, complete with dynasties, prophets, betrayals, and the haunting realization that even the most powerful can't escape fate. The world building is massive, the visuals are operatic, and the politics are every bit as treacherous as those of Westeros. For those who love the grand scope and moral tension of Thrones, Foundation delivers that same intoxicating blend of intellect and emotion. A reminder that empires don't fall overnight, they decay from within. 2 seasons are streaming on Apple TV+, and it's as stunning as it is profound. Before there were kings and councils, there were slaves who rose against gods and men. Spartacus is blood-soaked, unapologetic, and unforgettable, the tale of a gladiator who becomes the symbol of rebellion against Rome. It's operatic in scale, visceral in style, and drenched in tragedy. But beneath the carnage lies something deeply human. The cost of freedom, the fragility of loyalty, and the impossible weight of leadership. Every alliance burns bright, every betrayal cuts deep, and every victory feels both earned and cursed. If Game of Thrones showed how power corrupts, Spartacus shows how revolution consumes. 4 seasons are streaming on Starz and Netflix, each one building toward a finale that's as brutal as it is beautiful. Power doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers. The crown trades swords for scandals, battles for negotiations, but the game remains the same. It's the story of Queen Elizabeth II's reign, a study in restraint, sacrifice, and the lonely burden of legacy. Each season dissects a different chapter of her rule, revealing that the fight for control isn't always public. Sometimes it's behind palace doors, hidden in silence and compromise. The show captures the same emotional intensity that made Game of Thrones resonate, where duty collides with identity and loyalty becomes a cage. Elegant, intelligent, and quietly devastating, The Crown reminds us that power is never just about strength. It's about endurance. 6 seasons are streaming on Netflix, completing a rare and regal epic of its own. So here we are, the war is over, but the hunger remains. Game of Thrones didn't just entertain us, it rewired the way we see stories about power, family, and fate. It made us root for the ruthless and question the righteous. These 10 shows don't replace Westeros, they extend it. From boardrooms to battlefields, from empires to dynasties, they all ask the same question: what would you sacrifice to rule? Because the game never truly ends. The pieces just move to new boards. On NextFix, we don't just recommend shows. We connect the stories that stay with you. The ones that keep you thinking long after the screen goes dark. If you enjoyed this list, tell me in the comments, which show are you starting tonight? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss your next fix.